Welcome back to the Holden Centre for this round 17 clash. It's Richmond and Collingwood. We're about to start the second quarter. The Tigers with all the ascendancy in the first term, 27-point leaders at this stage of the game. They really controlled the game early, didn't they? Andrew Lynn's my name, sorry, and you're joined by James Hickleton. So they controlled the game, the Tigers, didn't they?
They certainly did. They moved the ball cleaner than Collingwood, which, especially in the conditions, it's going to be a massive advantage. So underweight, no curves, a little palm down. Didn't really go anywhere. Now Silvestro with his hands on the footy. He loves these conditions. Went in hard. His handball's intercepted by Broomhead. He skipped around a couple and then just dropped the pill. Yeah, it's going to come out further afield. That'll be English with a clearing, just spiral sort of punt up towards the half-forward flank and coming out and meeting it was Coleman Jones. Took it on the chest, handballed it out wide. That'll be Menadue with it. He's going to send this one inside forward 50. It's just going to hit the deck and just bounce out the back of the pack. Howe was there. The big man couldn't bend down to pick it up, and the Pies just worked it further to the back pocket. Now they're going to send this one out of the area to a one-on-one. Ballard got himself in a good position. He's going to gather, got a Shepherd in support, and then he gets on his left shoe. It was a dangerous kick to a 1-on-2 situation. Townsend had to smash the footy, and he did so well. McIntosh gives it off. Now, they went for the 1-2, couldn't get it back. Now the Pies, with numbers, should be able to clear the area. Strong tackle was laid, though, and it's given the Tigers a chance just to go inside forward 50 again. Collingwood's pressure is good, though, to hold them up. And now this one towards the half-forward flank. It's going to get to a few sets of hands. Coleman Jones just bounced off his chest, and now the players just dive in on the half-forward flank. 50 from the Tigers' goal.
So you called Menadue early there, leading possession on the ground in that opening quarter with 9 touches, 7 kicks. So he's leading the way for the Tigers. Jake Townsend was 7, and then Curvis was 6. And then for the Pies, it was Madgen, Woodward and Lane with Madgen Woodward with 8 and Lane with 7 each in that opening quarter. Leading possession getters on the ground. There's champion data stats there. We've got another contest at half forward for Richmond.
Just another stoppage, and you'd expect with this rain we might just see a few more of them as the night goes on.
Yeah, I can imagine them building from here.
Collingwood trying to clear it, couldn't do so cleanly. The Tigers just send this one back inside forward 50. My man Markov charged out, went over his head. Collingwood just with a little grubber along the ground, and now with runners trying to shift it out of there. The Tigers, though, did well to get the ball back, send it back towards a dangerous position. Goldsack had his hands on it, couldn't take it cleanly. It's a hot footy at the moment. And the umpire is going to call for it. 30 out from the Tigers' goal. A bit darker down that end of the ground. So the lights just slowly taking effect. Weighted numbers around the footy, meaning no one can get a clean possession. Umpire just scouting. Occasionally yelling play on, eventually hoping it'll get out of there. And the Tigers are going to allow this one to get out of there on this occasion. Ball almost intercepted. Flying for it was, I think it might have been Harris. Long way away from our commentary position.
It is, it's hard to see out that other side. You can barely see the towers in South Yarra over the back there with the mist and rain all over it. Thrown in. 60 round from Richmond's goal. Thumped away by Collingwood towards the boundary. Might spill out, it does, just on that athletics track that runs around the Holden Centre oval here. And we'll have another boundary throw in, just forward of centre for Richmond. All play sort of been on that outer side of the ground so far in this second term. 27 points the margin. Richmond well on top in general play and their forward play as well. They've got a free kick here as well. Nankervis will take it.
Another one of these ruck free kicks.
It was.
It's just a raffle.
Kick. He put his teammate under pressure. Brown did well for Collingwood to come in and spoil. Push the ball out. Oh, gee, the Rich played it well. Butler was his intended target. Didn't have the numbers. The Pies did. They work it towards half forward. Good pressure near the boundary line, and now they're forward of centre, outer side of the ground here. And we'll have another throw in. So fair few stoppages early in the early going here of this second term. Richmond on top, 28 playing 1.
It's been a bit of a slow start, hasn't it, to this one?
Yeah, and as the rain teams down continuously, the crowd's thinned out a bit as well. I think people, either headed inside into the cafe downstairs here, or maybe even headed across to the MCG to get ready for tonight's game.
Just work their way over to the bars at the G.
Probably.
And then just tune into the stream with us on the phone.
Oh, no doubt. That's exactly right. That's what they're all doing.
Butler with it. He didn't even look. He just sunk a slipper into it and just sent it inside forward 50. Coleman Jones tried to gather it. The big man couldn't. The Pies got the numbers. Should be able to run out defence, although the hands just couldn't quite hold on to the slippery ball. And you'd think we're going to have a stoppage. We will. Centre half forward for the Tigers. It's going to be Coleman Jones to do the work. He's got Howe for company. Coleman Jones got the palm down. The Pies, though, they were able to get the clearing kick through Wellings. Just sends it out to the wing. Collingwood with numbers. They try to move it quickly through the middle. Just come a few sets of hands, and as they try to find space, Broomhead's got it. He handballs it further afield. Once again, not taken cleanly. It brings Richmond back into the contest on that outer wing. Now a short kick. Misses the target. Pies going to bring it in board and then just send a spearing ball. Mark taken there on the lead by Tohill. I hope I've got that right. It's a short name, and he's got a 50. I'm not sure how he would have gone from just outside the arc, but now putting Tohill at the top of the goal square. You'd expect the Pies should have their first of the night.
You'd think so.
Right on the point of the square, which means there's still a slight angle. But surely.
It'd be a nervy kick though, still with that rain coming down.
Be horrible when your side hasn't kicked one and you got one from here. And he makes no mistake. Drilled it through. Great finish, and then just goes and lets his opponent know about it too. Just goes and gives a little hug for his efforts. A little bit of push and shovel follow, but the Pies are on the board 1-1-7, trailing Richmond 4-4-28. And Tohill with the major.
Yeah, much needed goal.
And just straight off for a spell too.
It's one of everyone's favourite things, seeing the goal kicker run off the ground.
It is. Reward for kicking one from the top of the square.
So a needed goal. Rain still pouring down. He cuts the margin back to 21 points. First goal of the second term going the Pies' way. What will the Tigers do? Coleman Jones comfortably in the ruck. Beautiful knockdown. Good tackle in the middle of the ground there by Smith, and we'll have another ball up. Thrown up, middle of the ground. I was looking at the numbers pre-game, and both sides have used 46 players this year in the VFL, which is a lot, isn't it?
It is sizable when you consider that's two full sides.
That's exactly right. So I thought, I wonder, because I know we sort of both sides have had their injury troubles at the top level, and that obviously correlates down to the second tier as well. 46 players have pulled on a VFL jumper for either of these sides this year.
It's seriously high numbers.
Yeah. Collingwood have sent it up towards half forward. Couldn't quite trapping it there. It was Lane, just slipped through his hands. Tyler Brown in amongst the numbers. Again, Hampass comes out the side, but Richmond have squeezed it up the boundary line, and they gain 15 metres, and we'll have a boundary throw in at right half back for the Tigers.
And rain's just getting heavier and heavier.
Hope you're enjoying the stream, and you probably can't see as much of the rain as we can see, but it is absolutely pouring here at the Holden Centre.
Perfect conditions. Slowing back into play. That was Howe, Coleman Jones doing the ruck work against him. Pies with the clearance, but the ball intercepted. Mark was taken there by Harris. He's going to switch the footy to the outer side. Silvestro sitting underneath it. He'll just take it on the chest. Push back off the mark. He had Townsend on short. Went even shorter than that. And now they can try and get some run. I reckon that's Menadue with it. There's a poor kick going forward. It's giving Collingwood a chance to get involved and intercept this one. The Tigers, they just keep edging it forward. That's what they do. They just keep working it forward. They try to get some numbers out of it. A few bodies just crashing in at it. And right over on the boundary line, it eventually goes over. So there'll be a throw-in 65 round from the Tigers goal, out of side. Tigers yet to score in this term. Collingwood with the only score, that being a major. Result of a 50-metre penalty.
Doesn't really feel like there's a breeze favouring anyone's side. It just seems to be the pattern of the game. Harder to score towards that Yarra end so far.
If you're going by the lighting, I'd almost say it's the darker end.
The darker end of the ground.
You'd hope that doesn't affect things.
Thrown up again, outer side of the ground. Left half forward for Richmond, another pack. No clean possession, we'll do it all again. So in that first term, I think there was 14 stoppages. We'll see how many we have in this term, because it already feels like we've comfortably gone past 14.
You would have thought so.
There's a bit more free-flowing football in that first term as the ball continually got slapped out. So it's been bottled up a bit more this term. Richmond break inside attacking 45 up towards Nankervis. Collingwood work it out though through Cameron, who snaps it on the right boot just to clear the defensive territory, and he's snapped it too far out of bounds on the full. Richmond will reload.
Yep, you feel like that's what Collingwood had to do to get back into this game. They had to clog this game up. When it was on the outside, the Tigers were moving it far too freely and getting in to the forward line quickly to not many numbers. Ball sent deep inside forward 50, and the mark will be paid.
I like that. I think you pay that mark.
I think you have to.
Yeah, in these sort of conditions.
And now I'm going to take a punt. I reckon there's Nankervis on the other side.
It is, yep.
So the big Nankervis, he's about 35 out. Well, that's where the mark is anyway. He'll kick from about 40, 45. Umpire puts him on a nice little angle. This will test him out. He's on his left. Generally a left footer. Angle doesn't really favour him. He'll send it on its way. It's going to go right to the line. It's going to come off hands, and it's going to be kicked, I reckon. I get the feeling that might be a goal to Miller.
I reckon it was. I reckon he had a couple of swings at it as well.
I'm sure he missed his shoe the first time, and then the ball bounced on the ground and he socketed it. Unless he nicked it, is it two disposals or?
I don't know.
Not really sure, but he'll take the goal nonetheless. And the Tigers get their first of the term. As I said, that man Miller.
He does.
Very strange goal.
Well, it looked like the ball came off the post from Nankervis' kick and sort of just stopped dead and bounced in the square in front of anyone, and Collingwood couldn't get a hand on it, and Miller had a couple of goes at it and got it through.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. There was a flyer at the back, and I just thought it went straight through his hands, off the post, and down you go. But goal umpire saw it differently.
Exactly right. Back in the middle. Howe got it down to Broomhead. Good tap, good clearance, and they kick up towards full forward coming out. Underneath the football, though, is Collier Dawkins. Took possession for Richmond. Kick squeezed out the side here towards English. And he takes possession at half-back. Delivers a pass down the line, punched away from his, the Richmond player and punched out, and will have a boundary throw in centre wing outer side of the ground.
There's nothing like a real difficult last name when you're commentating, but when they go and get two difficult last names and tie them together, it just makes for a real shambles at times.
Was that Egg Smith, was it?
Well, actually, Smith being the more difficult one. This one sends inside forward 50 for Collingwood. Real nice defensive work there from Garthwaite. The double fister just pounded the ball out of the area. I'm looking at Collier Dawkins and thinking it's simple if you just take your time and read it, but if you're trying to just rattle that one off quickly in a passage of play, you're opening yourself up to all sorts of problems.
Where do you stand on the hyphenated last name?
No, I haven't got a problem with it, except for when I'm commentating footy.
Kick comes away, clearing kick from half-back for the Tigers, up towards the wing position. Richmond player possibly held without it. No, said the umpire. Goldsack goes in and mops up. Feeds a hand pass back to Oxley, who's forced to kick hurriedly. On the right boot up towards half forward. Under it, Broomhead. Has he paid the mark? He is. Good strong mark. He's going to come back inboard, threatened to come back inboard and decided that was not the go. Instead goes down the line towards half forward. It's all Richmond back there. Over the back of the pack now. They'll clean up through Caulfield. Although it was chopped up, good defensive forward pressure from the Pies manages to lock it in, and we'll have a boundary throw in 15 metres round from their goals.
Strange contest, that one then. The ball came in. There was 2 or 3 Tigers players that flew at the footy and all had fresh areas with the fist.
They did, yeah.
Rain can make it slippery, but it shouldn't mean you misjudge it, I wouldn't have thought.
Judge the flight. No, you wouldn't think so. Back to 27 points. It's the quarter-time margin. Broomhead again takes it from the ruck contest. Snap towards goal and a mark on the last line of defence.
He's a player that it really is surprising that he doesn't get more opportunity at the top level.
Garthwaite.
Whenever you see him at VFL level, he's always a dominant player on the ground as he clears the ball out of the area. Getting a chest in on that one was Nelson. Just bounced off it. Kept going forward though. Butler's going to have to put some pressure here on Cameron. He did really well though. Gathered the footy and then ran away from his man. He was pushing for the 1-2. Didn't get it. Involved there was Lane. Just gave it back. Now Goldsack with a little underground ball. And now the spiral. That's what we like to see. You see plenty of that in the wet. Sends up further at field. It's a hard one to mark though. And that one will just work its way over the line. And there was Marotta. We'll roll with that. Apologise to the family.
Michael Marotta, he's the 23rd player, the young player that they allow in the VFL.
So thrown in again. Off hands and then a kick around the corner. That was Wills, just sent it to the centre forward position. Off hands, gathering was Wellings, and he was taken, holding the ball. And the Tigers will just hold this one up. Ballard thought about playing on, chose not to. So the ball in the hands of Harris. He's going to go into the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous kick, but well controlled. Now it's going to be sent deep. Pies have got position here. That was well read there. That was by Cameron. He just knocked it out to the advantage of a teammate there. That was Oxley, who then sends it further afield, and he'll just find the line. Almost centre wing out of side. There's the lights. They're really taking an effect now, and we've also got the lights going on Amy Park as well. It's quite the spectacle here. Ball back into play. The Tigers trying to get something clean out of there. Couldn't do so, and then the Pies just try to bring it out the back of the contest, but it's worked out in the favour of Richmond in the end as they can just gain some meterage. 70 from their goal. Travelled 15 minutes in this second term. We've seen 2 goals in it. The Tigers 5-4-34 and the Pies 1-1-7.
Thrown up, early jump from Collingwood Ruckman. Won the possession, but it's all Richmond at the fall of the ball. They get a chance as they just bundle it forward. They're 40 metres from goal. They're going to get a free kick here, I reckon, for holding the man at that contest. Might be a kick for Weller, I believe, as he crashed his way through. I don't think he even knows he's got the ball. Oh, in fact, it's not going to Weller. It's going to Blake Brewer, who's going to take the free.
I may have made a comment earlier that Brewer's red hair is always easy to pick out. But when it starts raining, it turns into a bit of a brown, and you all of a sudden you struggle.
I picked up the 6 on the outside of the jumper and thought it was Weller. But it is Brewer who can have a shot from about 48 metres. Kick on its way. He's got the distance, he's got the accuracy. It's a good goal and gets the Tigers 2nd of the term and their 6th of the day. 6-4-40 they move to over the Pies 1-1-7. About halfway through this second term.
Really good finish that. In the wet, heavy ball. To go back and slot one home from about 40 out. Good kick. So the Tigers there.
Well, what happened there was, of course, the ball was probably about 20 metres outside the 50-metre arc, and Richmond, Collingwood Ruckman won the contest, but Richmond midfielders and on-ballers just pushed the ball forward, as we see them do at the senior level, and tumbled the ball forward, and then an opportunity presents with a free kick. So just getting the ball in at all opportunities and get closer to goal and try and convert.
It's simple footy, isn't it? Just keep it moving forward.
Yep.
They don't waste much time going back and moving the ball around. They just keep going forward. Silvestre, he just said, no, I'm not going to bother with his picking the ball up. He just smashed it off the turf with his foot. Just sent this one to the half-forward flank. Markov was involved. The Pies, they tried to work it out, but eventually seeing it over the line there was Smith.
Well, Silvestre, a classic example of it there, wasn't he? He just thumped it off. Could have picked it up, but then thought, no.
He actually bent down to pick it up, and he thought, no, this is going to be too difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
He thought better of it, which when it's starting to just come down like this, good move.
Absolutely. It's been non-stop rain.
So it'll be thrown in. No Curvis. He just got the palm down to no one. There was no one there. And it just gave the Pies a chance to clear away from the contest. Little banana along the line. It's going to trickle towards the line. The Pies would almost like that result at the moment, and they do. They get it. They've gained plenty of meterage there and get a stoppage 60 round from their goal as they try to edge it forward for their second goal of the match.
They probably just need to do that again, don't they? Just barrel it forward and get it deep in and lock it down. They've been they've been better at locking the game away, not letting Richmond break through the middle of the ground as much this term.
They certainly have. So at the front there, palm down. That was from Lynch. Went out to the line, trying to get away with Smith, but eventually saw it over the line. Good tackling there from Jacob Townsend. Just feeling for the poor, the camera people you see down on the boundary on a day like this.
I noticed the commercial TV crews, they all packed up pretty quickly once they
moved on.
Yeah,
They're
moved on. Exactly.
just about allergic to the rain. Works its way back out to the wing for the Pies. They're trying to get going forward. Brewer with a little bit of pressure. Now a kick there. That was from Magin. Just sent this one inside forward 50. The Tigers had the numbers, but not at ground level. Broomhead was involved. Gave it off. Now the kick inside forward 50 from Wills to a dangerous position, but going back with the flight and taking a good mark there was Bolter. He's got Eglinage just getting around the back. Didn't go to him. And then just sends this one up in the middle of the ground. I think that was Ballard. Gave it off to Butler. Sends it further afield. And it looked like my man Markov. He's just about missed his foot, kicked it with his ankle. Went to the centre forward position. Grew was there, tries to pick it up. Got the hands away. Trying to charge through there was Lynch, couldn't take it cleanly. Now Butler gets a right foot on it and just pushes it to the near side for a minor score.
Well, I said just before that Collingwood done well locking Richmond down. Their transition off half-back, they moved that really quickly there, the Tigers, and all of a sudden they're getting a scoring opportunity.
As soon as they get it to, just outside of the defensive 50, the Tigers are very happy just to play on immediately at all costs.
Yeah. Oxley wide to the outer side for Collingwood, but it's going to come back. Richmond have won the footy back. Brown sits under this, forced to punch on that occasion. He might get it back. It comes out to Wills. Series of hand passes around here. Boston Vellucci. He got a touch in there as well. And then Richmond have done well to lock this up, and we'll have another ball up. Well, that's the picture I'm seeing through the camera here. That's very hard to see on the stream. So we hope you're enjoying it. Hope we're enjoying the coverage. The Tigers dominant so far. Collingwood trying to prevent them from getting too far away in this second quarter. Race for the ball now on the wing position. Players outnumbered. Boston Vellucci gets a hand pass. Gets it out the side here for Wellings, who sends it to full forward. Forced to punt from behind as Wilson might come over the back here. Chance now for Gallucci. He got pulled off the football. Hand pass back round now for Toehill. He kicked their only goal of the game so far, Toehill, with it via a 50-metre penalty that took him to the point of the goal square.
Perfect example a moment ago out here in the wing in front of us. Two players from either side going at the footy, and both sort of waited for the other go to it because no one wanted to go in low and take out the legs.
Exactly right. Well, that's, I suppose they'd be happy with that in terms of the way that rule is.
Well, I guess that's what they want. But
it is funny when people stop and don't go for the ball.
And they look at each other and say, well, you do it.
Yeah, exactly right. Appleby this time sends it forward. Wilson went the fly. Boston Vellucci at the fall of the ball took a nice clean possession. Couldn't quite get the clean hand pass out. Turnover. Richmond working hard. Plenty of numbers around the ball. That ball is like a bar of soap at the moment. Brown wins it. Hand pass comes out. Will's hand pass out the back. And Collingwood trying to do a little cheeky kick round the corner to Broomhead. Wedged up against the boundary. He centres the ball. Couple of pies fly for it. They can't take it. Richmond all with the numbers back here. Garthwaite throws it on the boot and kicks it to the pocket. Sitting under the footy here, chance for Ralph. He couldn't quite win possession. Tigers have done well again just to work it out of defence and hack it forward up towards the wing position. And again, can they keep going? Yes, they do. Sock it off the ground by Menadue on this occasion. Picking it up was Arts. He got slung off the football. Menadue went back and got it. Strong tackle on him by Goldsack. But again, Richmond have worked it a half forward. Silvestro goes in. He picks it up. Can't get a clean possession. And eventually the umpire's going to come in and ball it up. But that transition from the last line of defence all the way up to half forward without much fuss. It's been a territory game, and Richmond have played it pretty well today.
Yeah, they have, and it was one of those things. There was nothing all that clean about it. They just kept getting it forward.
Exactly right.
Simple as that. Brewer was really good. Put his head over it. B2 to it. Howe was going after it. Eventually now the big bloke just gets down, picks it up and just handballs it out to a teammate. But getting involved now is Menadue, and he's going to send this one into a dangerous position. Markov was there, got a fist involved. The Pies, though, should have the numbers to get away from it. Spinning into a little bit of trouble. Markov gave away a free kick, and I reckon
it's clipped him a bit high in the tackle, I think. Put his arm out.
So it's Coleman Jones giving away the free. So the ball coming back. That'll go to Wellings. He's going to switch it out to the outer side. A long way from our position.
They should be able to move this quickly. They've broken really well.
Got the overlap, ran to the Pies, and just run into a little bit of trouble here as the Tigers catch up with them. And then force the turnover. Ballard on the left shoe. Sends it further afield. Mark taken. Now goes further on to Butler. He's 60 from goal. Not going to be having a shot from there. Waits for some numbers to get in there. I reckon he might just send this one long to a contest. Nankervis works his way down there, but instead it's going to go to the pocket and look for a flyer. And a mark from the side. I think it's come off hands, and well, I thought there was a few sets involved in that, but the umpire says it was just one set of hands that plucked it. So we try and pick up who's held onto that one on the other side. We look to the screen for assistance, and that didn't help. And
well, Butler's got it now because he's got the orange boots, so that helps.
And the orange boots help on a night like this. So Butler, you'll watch, will have been stitched up and someone else has swapped over to the orange boots at quarter time. But
so I would say, looking at this game, Richmond are playing wet weather footy and Collingwood are trying to play dry weather footy, because they broke on the outer side of the ground, and then the series of handballs comes undone because you can't take clean possession as quickly as you'd like. You just got to thump it forward. Yeah,
still trying to back their game plan, possibly. Butler sent that one right to the line, couldn't get the journey, and it's just come off hands and gone over. It's exactly right. The Tigers, from the outset, have just been happy just to grab the ball and just get it as far down the field as you possibly can, and it's worked.
It can be a simple game at times, and territory is the key in this sort of conditions. And Collingwood really haven't played the game. Even again, a cute little kick and smothered off the boot there by Weller, who was manning the mark so well, and Richmond retain that territory battle inside their attacking 50. It just gives them another opportunity to try and get a shot on goal. Umpires are paying free kicks, we've seen that. So if you're first in for the ball, then it gives you a chance to get to goal. And the problem is Collingwood at the moment is trying to finesse it a little bit too much, you'd say. This time kick comes inside from Collier Dawkins up to a big pack of players at the fore of the ball. Chance now for Silvestro, ducked and weave, chopped off by Oxley. His kick comes out. And that's sensible play by the Collingwood defender there to kick it up towards the wing. Strong mark in the front spot there by Glover. He's got a player wide on the outer side of the ground who's run forward. And he goes to the running player there in Wellings, who kept running. He started this all at half back. Hand pass comes out sideways now to Ralph. But again, hand passing has let Collingwood down there in these wet conditions. And they're going to cough the ball up and turn it over. And Richmond should be able to mop it. Oh no, they've won it back here, the Pies, and they'll run in towards goal. Flying shot at goal is taken and kicked. A lovely goal converted on the run there by the Pies, and they get their second of the day, their second of this term. And after a series of errors with the wet ball on the outer side of the ground, Collingwood on the scoreboard. 2-1-13 they go to, trailing Richmond, who are 6-42.
And the goal kicked on that occasion by Lane for Collingwood. It would be, I'd say, no surprise to anyone that Collingwood's kicked the handball numbers. 79 kicks, 88 handballs.
Yep, it's obvious for us. I didn't know that stat, but you can just see it.
The Tigers 96 kicks, 51 handballs, and you almost say that's where the game's being won and lost. They're very similar possession numbers, just one side's winning the territory battle because they're kicking the ball more. Well, I hate to say it, but it's simple, isn't it?
If you're the VFL coaching staff there at Collingwood, that's surely all the message you're giving at halftime. Just kick the ball more. Every opportunity, kick it, get it forward.
Especially in the wet. I would have thought handballing numbers probably drop in the wet.
It's hard because they're probably trained that way, and they're probably, they're trying to play a particular game style, but you've got to adjust to the conditions.
So Coleman Jones got the palm down, but the Pies were able to get the clearance. McIntosh is going to get there first. He just overran the footy though, brought the Pies into it. Gathering it there eventually was Wilson. Now the kick inside forward 50, going underneath the footy. That was Lynch, and the mark was taken by Caulfield. He's able to find Silvestro, who'll take it out to the outer wing. He's put his team out under a little bit of pressure. The kick fell short.
It's funny, when it goes past them, it looks like they're turning like a big ship, like the QE2 or something
exactly.
Like that. Try not to lose their feet.
No one's all too trusting of the surface at the moment, which, well, you should say, immaculate looking surface too. It's like carpet out there, but no one can stand.
I wonder how many of them have got the long stops in it. You sort of, that transition happened, I reckon, around the mid-90s, where everyone just stopped wearing long stops regardless of the conditions.
Yeah, exactly. The Tigers trying to get this one forward. Really strong tackle laid, but it was too high. It'd be a free kick. So Richmond get the chance to go forward again. That's Arts with it. He's going to get this one to Nankervis. He's going to fly. The big man just put an knee in the back of an opponent. Tried to take a real nice little specky. Ball eventually to the top of the square where it was intercepted there by Oxley. Clears the area for the Pies, but Arts with it, handballs it over the top. Then Curvis back to Arts, put him under a lot of pressure. He had a man there in company. And now I reckon that's Howe, who's just dumped it out of the area, but it's going to come back for a push in the back. Looks like it'll go Collingwood's way, and it does. So we're up to 29 minutes gone in this term. You wouldn't have thought there'd be much left, so they're going to have to go quickly.
Boston and Valaji with the free kick. It was interesting. Umpire wait to see if there was any advantage. I still reckon there was more advantage with that kick going forward.
I think there was, for the pure fact they kicked it forward.
And the territory that they would have got. But they've worked it across half back to Oxley.
And lost territory.
And lost territory, exactly right.
So maybe kicking is in the game.
Maybe they would have been happy just to not concede there again, Collingwood. At half-time here at the Holden Centre, it's 6-6-42 Richmond. They kicked 2 goals to that turn. The Pies 2-1-13. They kicked 2 goals straight that turn. For Richmond, the goal kickers, we've got 2 to Markov and singles each to Brewer, Miller, Nankervis and Townsend, whilst for Collingwood, Anton Tohill kicked their first goal and Campbell Lane kicked a nice goal on the run as well. We're going to take a break here. We'll get some stats and come back and take a look at the second half. Hope you're enjoying the live stream of this round 17 clash between the Tigers and the Pies ahead of the big one tonight at the MCG.